Good morning. It's Friday morning, November 29th, 2019, late morning. It's time for your morning walk with me, Sophfronia. I'm back home in Connecticut. As I mentioned last week, I was in Ohio for my mother's funeral. And now that I'm back home, I am thinking about transitions. And it occurs to me that we can think about transitions both in terms of life events, but also in terms of writing. And it's so strange that this should juxtapose itself. These ideas came together for me this week because as I was, coming home and thinking about what is this new landscape of my life without a mother, I received the editorial feedback for an essay that I have that's getting published in the spring. And all of the fixes and suggestions and thoughts were easy and doable, except for one. And I haven't returned the essay yet because I have to fix this one thing, and it involves a transition. There are two very different subject pieces going on in the essay, and I didn't make a good transition between the two. And I'm not quite sure, I even knew this actually when I turned it in, that I probably didn't quite have it, and now I know for certain that I don't. So I'm walking today and I'm thinking about how to make that transition. And I will share with you my thoughts about transitions in general because they're important, especially in essay writing, where you may be sort of walking your way through various thoughts. So you want a transition to be as seamless as possible, kind of like using on-ramps and off-ramps on a highway. You want to move from thought to thought with a certain amount of ease and elegance. Now, when a transition is clunky, that can often mean that you went for the easy thing, like, this reminds me of, or let's go to this thought here, or you just put something in just to throw the two ideas together. Now, sometimes when a transition is clunky, it might mean that those two ideas don't belong together in the first place. And maybe you should either take the second part out or move it elsewhere. And that's what I've been thinking about with this essay. I'm thinking about taking out this particular section of the essay. But the more I think about it, the more I know that it's important that the point I'm making belongs there with this other seemingly disparate idea. So that means I need to work even harder to bring those two ideas together. Now, I can do that with a sentence, and I think that's the hard part. I'm right now thinking about how can I come up with a sentence to make that transition easy. But you can also use the visual structure of your essay to make the transition. You can use a line break. You can use that line of asterisks that signal to the reader that you are moving from one place to the next. I had a student recently ask if that was cheating, but it's not. Many great essays do exactly that. They use the signals, the visual signals, to show the transition. I might end up doing that, but I think I'm going to find that sentence in there somewhere. I'm also thinking about, in terms of life transitions, if you are moving from one space of your life to another, your instinct might be to cut out something, just like I want to cut out this part of the essay. I'm scheduled to visit the monastery where Thomas Merton lived, and I almost canceled that trip. It's coming up very soon, in a couple of weeks, in fact. And I just thought, I've been traveling a lot. I'm grieving the loss of my mom. Maybe I don't need to do this trip. at least not right now. But it occurs to me that maybe this is something that I need more than I realize. Maybe there's something there that's going to help me with this particular transition, and I shouldn't be so quick to give up on it. So I made that decision just a couple of days ago, in fact, that I'm going to move forward with that retreat and see what happens. I'm going to keep walking. I hope you find this helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.